Well, ladies and gentlemen, we like to say welcome again. And the bottom line is back after a break. We're back, and we are back to stay to take care of business after elections. And so, if you will be joining us tonight, we want to say thank you and welcome. Once again, we're here to serve you. We're here to give you the much needed information that you need. We'll be back right after this break. Good evening, Jima.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Linford. How are you?
Yeah. Welcome. I'm good.
Thank you very
How
much.
uh, how was your long sabbatical? We've been away from here for a couple of weeks. How was it?
Oh, yeah. Basically, we were trying to recalibrate our brains with regard to the results. You've seen the results of the elections, and we were talking for the past 3 years. We've been around, and we're still trying to recalibrate and think and we kind of process how the result happened. I've never seen that happen before, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm still thinking. I don't know how I feel, but we still get something to absorb what happened from the elections. There are a lot of information out there, but we're still waiting to see what happened after 14th of November 2023, which will be 17th November, sorry, 2023, which will be the runoff. But in any case, so we're talking about what CPP performance in the Johnson elections and other candidates, our unknown candidates. So we just to let you know we are back. We're not away. We're trying to put things together, get some facts together, and make sure we inform you because we want to say a big thank you to those who follow over the years and join us lately. We are here to stay. This is the Bottom Liberia. It's a European-based platform, basically about Liberia. We're not going anywhere, and it's going to be quite interesting for the years to come. Linford, it's going to be quite interesting.
Yes. The much talked about elections have come, and uh, it's going to be history soon. Pretty soon, it's going to be history because today is the last day in the month of October, and so come November 14, we're going to have a run up, and this run off is going to be between two parties. That is the Unity Party and the Liberty, I mean, and the CDC. But you see, I've got a disappointment, so to speak, and this is just my opinion, and that's one of the best things we do on this show. We give our opinions. While it is true that our opinions may not matter and they may not be the facts, but it's just my opinion that the Liberian people had 18, I mean, I'm subtracting CDC, which is the current government that everybody want to replace, that everybody is crying from. Then we had the Unity Party government that was in power for 12 years, and Liberian people felt in 2017 that this party did not do well in 12 years, and they forced George Weah on us as a replacement of that ugly party. For them to have 20 candidates moving the CDC and the UP, 18 other good Liberians, 18 good, well-meaning Liberians, and they rejected all of them and brought back these two evils on us again. So that's my disappointment. And then I try to settle and say, okay, well, I will settle with it. But then what gets to me again is when I hear people talking now, they're trying to choose between the two evils. Who can we take? So it's like you have Ebola and coronavirus, both of which are very deadly. And then you know the doctor told you the remedy. Say, look, if you do this, you will not have Ebola. We are giving you other options, some medicine that you will take that will remove this Ebola and the coronavirus. Okay, but you refuse that and you bring back the two coronavirus. Now it's evident that of the two, one of them will have to kill you. Uh, I'm just speaking idiomatically because the two governments or the two people, the Boakai UP and the George Weah CDC, we have to live with one of them. There is no bypass. There is no way we can, no other way out. We had 18 options. We dropped all of them. So we are left with the two. So whether we like it or not, we have to live with one of them. So it's like, okay, you chose the corona and the Ebola. So now your question is, which one can kill faster? Whether the corona, okay, so because we all know that we die, right? As Liberians, we live with this government. So whether we should choose Boakai or we should choose George Weah that people say they're suffering from. So it's left with them. But that's my disappointment that the Liberian people had 18 other options. We were not short of candidates in the race. That they refused all of them, but they brought back the same two evils that they have been crying from, but yet they're thinking which one to select. And there is this group that have always said that believe that to be president of Liberia, you gotta be vice president to Joe Boakai. That's why they said the rejected coming because coming refused to be vice president to Boakai. So at this point, I would have thought that they would go to Joshua and say, no, you be vice president to Boakai. Instead of running to be in the runoff, come and be vice president to GMB.
Yeah, Linfo, sadly enough, sadly, very sad indeed that we have to live with the two evils. So the best of the lesser evil. So now what we're going to do, put it behind us and see what happened with UP and CDC. That's the next case we have on hand. It is what it is. We have to deal with it. So let's look at it from a very positive point and also negative points. I know the Liberian people have decided, and they have two candidates up front right now, and they will decide on the 17th of November. And that's the runoff for the upcoming elections. So now the question is, they are going around asking for re-endorsements. And we're hearing that political heavyweights are going around. There are too many maneuvering behind those. So we will see end of, who's it around about 18th November, we'll see who is leading. But we won't tell you right now. Probably tomorrow, CPP will come up with who the party endorses in the runoff elections. So the party chairman has, the party Stony Berry, Mr. Cummings, has said that he won't kill Liberian people waiting so long. He will make an endorsement by Wednesday latest. So wait to hear what he's going to say. But let me tell you something. This interesting thing about this election, CPP did not win 1%, more than 2% in his vote. He was one of the weakest link so far, according to results. And now what happened? The two candidates, Mr. George, President George Weah went to see him at his house, and we also see Uncle Joe Boakai went to see him at his house. So the two people went to see him, so seeking his, endorsement. So if he did not win at least 2%, and the Constitution, if he did not make 2% in any election, you cannot run. You can wait until 2 terms. You know that it's in the Constitution somehow. If you can't win 2% in the general elections, that you do not get popular vote, that means you cannot contest in the 2 terms after 2 terms. So we have to wait after 2029 before CPP or ANC take part. Probably it could come. Legally, there could come or some legal argument saying that it was CPP, it was not ANC. So it was a collaboration and came into coalition. So definitely that was a CPP. But in case, if you have gone as a party, did not win 2% against the popular vote, you're not allowed to run after 2 terms for the presidency. But then, just for information, there's information around there, just to let you know, because we're giving some inside information from CPP headquarters. Now, tomorrow or before the weekend, you hear from the party which candidate they will endorse for the runoff. That is so far from my end with regard to CPP information regarding who will they endorse. Because people are saying right now that the party is endorsing CDC, some saying CPP, UP, but we have not said anything. What the party did, if you've been following, they put a team together that will do the investigation, find out which party they can align with, which party align with the objective, the policy of CPP. So from there, they will make the recommendations, which party. It's not Mr. Cummings' decision who to endorse in the runoff. It is a party decision. So the party is at work. They put a team together. The team is doing investigation to see which party to align with to support in the runoff. That comes on November 17, 2023. This should be probably next week. We'll have who we endorse, a party, CPP will endorse for the runoff, lane for. I don't know about other political parties. That's what I know of. CPP, I know they are stand for right now. So if you have heard that CPP is supporting any party, that's not true. It's not official. Probably could hear from grapevine. That's not official from CPP. I'm giving you some information from CPP headquarters, and they will announce soon which party they will endorse. Linfo.
Okay. Uh, so for you guys that are joining us tonight, the bottom line is back. We were only on a break, trying to sort of things right after the elections, and so we're back and we're back to stay. So please help us to share the show with your friends, invite them, so that we can give you the facts. Look, we are a platform that do not insinuate. We will not tell you what we do know. We will not sit there and abuse anybody. We will not sit there and downplay anybody. We tell you exactly what we know, and that's what we know. If you fact check, you will know that what we say is the fact. We also give our opinions on the issues. What is true is that our opinions may not be the facts for you, but that's what we feel. But when it comes to giving you the actual information, we give you the information. But like Jima said, so far from the CPP headquarters, that's why we know that the CPP has not officially endorsed anybody in this race. But it is true that President Weah did have a meeting with Mr. Cummings. Former VP Joe Walker did have a meeting with Mr. Cummings. But how that meeting went is what we don't know yet. And of course, it was a closed door meeting, and so we'll get to know the outcome of those meetings. But tonight we're going to have a special guest on the show tonight, and the elections, the general elections are over. Javad, I mean, just before we go over to our guest, there is this funny part about elections, especially general elections, right? Where the senators and representatives are running alongside with the presidential candidates, and then all of a sudden they get elected. If there's a second round like what we have now, they all relax and they just it's
Yeah.
like everybody's jumping this river and you're rushing, everybody want to cross, right? And then all of a sudden you guys cross, and then your bossman is stay behind.
Yeah, that's the beauty of library elections. Sometimes once the first round is over, I mean the die is cast. I mean, and what happened at the end of the day, you will find out that the cases decided for the reps and also the senators. So the big boys, the two big boys, or the two big persons that are heading the front line, are waiting to fight to see the exchange blow and see who will win. So it's going to be quite interesting. Before the end of this next month, we will see what happened. And I mean, some guys, do you understand that some guys, we saw some, I think New Dawn newspaper, front page, one of the newspaper, local newspaper reported that one of the, I think, Jimmy Smith was already packing out of the, did you see that news? Packing out of the second.
I did see
Yeah,
a video.
he's already
I did
packing
see a
up. He
video
was on,
where the guys, where the former law or else
from,
the
I
ones
think
that are
district,
still
was
were
it
packing
District
their
2? Montreal County, but too much. Jimmy Smith was packing already out of the Capitol building. He was taking
but
every
I think
item from there.
that's the most prudent thing to do because of course in any case we
But
have to
but
go.
he still has the 54th legislation staying section until December. Linford, you can't pack and leave. You still
No,
have
but
some.
they're not leaving, they're just packing their things. If you have to move from the apartment, I mean you gotta start
Linford,
you can't wait
I
until
think, anyway, Linford, we
but
have a guest. I think
we
tonight,
have a special guest, and our guest is on tonight, and we're going to be doing something very unusual tonight. Uh, the elections are over, like I said, but the presidential election. Now, listen, we say elections. That was both presidential and legislative elections. So the legislators have been elected, but the presidents, the president has not been elected. So there are two candidates running now to be elected. Now, but the thing here is there is controversy, between the two parties. One of the parties have this mentality that if you don't support them, then you are not a Liberian. And that particular party, which is a unity party, they have lay claim to certain counties in Liberia, like Lofa County, where their stand-up bureau comes from, and then Nimba County, where their vice stand-up bureau comes from. And they are saying that the people of Nimba County are also divided on the lands that, you know, the senator, Prince Johnson, who nominated or handpicked Jeremiah Kun to be vice stand-up bearer, comes from the Guild tribe. And then in Nimba, we have several tribes. So they are divided. Senator Johnson, according to reports that we are getting, is saying that the Guild people are in majority more than the rest of the other tribes in Nimba. And so he said he's a godfather, self-proclaimed godfather for Nimba County. He wants to control the county. He feels that he can control everybody. But there are other people who also feel that no, Prince Johnson does not speak for all of us. So he says that the Gill people or the Gill tribe that he comes from is more dominant and they got all the power, all the vote. So let all of us divide. Let the Manos people and the Wee people and the Joru people, let all of them divide. And then let's see who got the strength. So we're going to have our guest tonight. And that guest comes from Nimba County. He's one of the advocates. In fact, he's the lead advocate who says that no, Prince Johnson does not control all of Nimba County. So without any waste of time, we'll bring on our guest. Good evening, George Goanue Luogon Sr. Do you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Good evening. Unfortunately, we have problem with electricity in Gompa City. Yeah, where I'm speaking from Gompa. So I just want you to bear with me because I'm using my phone light just to have some level of visibility for when I speak.
Very good. The most important thing is the audio, and then we can also see you. My name is Linford Egon Goe, along with Jima Kamara. We both are here tonight. The rest of our panelists are not here on the show tonight because everybody's kind of doing some things right now after the elections. So we want to say on behalf of the Bottom Liberia, welcome, and it will be our pleasure to listen to some of what you've been saying in recent time. I will give Jima the opportunity to acquaint with you while I look for your audio, the audio that I have for you, where you are calling on the people of Nimba County, especially the Manos people, to go one side and let the Gill people one side. I will play that audio for a reason. And when I play, then you will come out to elaborate on it. But I'll give Jima the opportunity to acquaint with you. Jima?
Yeah, George Goanue Luogon Sr. How are you, sir?
Yeah. I'm great. And how you doing?
Nice to have you. Tell a little bit of who you are, why we waiting with you, where you come from in Nimba County, and what why should people listen to you?
Okay, like the host rightly said, I'm George Goanue Luogon Sr., a son of Nimba County. I hail from district number 7, Seglepe Man, particularly in a town called Yanseng. There I hail. I'm a father of 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, and I have followed our politics in Nimba for the past, 18 years consecutively, and the manner and form in which voting take place in Nimba has been such that certain tribe take a few that they are dominant in the country. Especially from 2011 or forward, this politics of tribal dominance has affected the rest of the tribes in the country, the 5 tribes in the country. So this election, it was very glaring to the extent that when the campaign period was in action, there were a lot of candidates from the Manos belt that thought of having a lot of impacts in the Gill region, for instance, so as to win the heart of the people. One of such person was Mr. Nyan Twain, the former Deputy Managing Director for the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation.
Okay, but George, let me show you right there. You will go into all of that. I think it was just a question. Chimaje wanted to know you. And the reason why I'm holding you is that I want to play this audio so that the people can hear and then let it see the man behind the audio. So if you guys are set, I can roll the audio now. And then we all can listen to it along with George. And then from there, we can begin to ask our questions. Chima, are you ready?
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay.
Of the CDC Nimba County campaign media team. So it's a pleasure to be with you this morning, Christopher, and I say thank you to our people this morning for following us. Wonderful. So how did the band campaign are finally open? So what of them in the county of CDC? Thank you. Last time when I spoke with you, I appreciated our people, and I told them thanks on behalf of President Weah for the level of support that they gave to the CDC in the first round of the election. And like I regularly said it last time, the 50,200 plus votes that Nimba County gave President Weah would not qualify him or any other person to become president of Liberia on the first round of the election according to our constitution. So because of that, National Election Commission declared campaign open for the period of 3 weeks. The next round of the election will be on the 14th of November. So we are here to tell our people to rally around the CDC like they did, especially in District 7. But this time around, Chris, there is a harsh reality that we got to tell our people. You know, the way voting goes on in Nimba, the way our Guild people vote, we are not being troubled in terms of dividing Nimba into two counties. But what we want to tell our people is that whenever it is not about Mano man, whenever it is not about Mandingo man, whenever it is not B man, whenever it is not the people from Pabli, our Guild, two senators will not take it to be a Nimba project. But because now they are together and they want to sit down on us and control us like they have been doing, and because this time around we have a Guild man running with Jeremiah or Joseph Boaka, they are coming out to tell us that this is Nimba time. But we want to inform our people from the Mano area, from Senikole, where I speak to you now, I'm in Senikole. We are here carrying the same message to our Mano people here, that the way they have been treating us, there have been rumor, this information going around by Prince Johnson, that they kill people in Nimba County more than the Mano people. So because of that, all the position in Nimba, they want it. We want to tell them that while the information is lie, and like the way we, the Mano people, we can open our arms to the Guild people, they can open their arms to us like that. That's why in any election, you always see Guild men winning. So this time around, we want our people from Seklepi to Dumba, to Bay, to Yahweh Meslo, and all the Mano area, and the Lao area that listen to us, to also understand that this election at this second round is about voting to have their own children that they send to school to be in government. All the big position in Nimba County that we can think about, everything now is been taken away by the Guild people. Before them, he bring to be senator, for example, will be a Guild man before he can support that person. In 2020, Dor Cooper was favored by the CDC to be senator. And Dor Cooper and Prince Johnson and more other people were the one that supported the CDC in 2017 for George Weah to become president. And when George Weah won, Dor Cooper was a city superintendent of Nimba County on Unity Party government when he supported CDC. But when Dor decided to be senator, he met people in the CDC and they agreed to support Dor. And because Dor Cooper is a Mano man, Prince Johnson didn't want Dor Cooper to become senator. Prince Johnson went and brought a Guild woman brother, a Guild woman son brother, who is Jeremiah Kun, who never supported George Weah, and convinced President Weah that Jeremiah Kun can be a better senator for Nimba County, and they supported Jeremiah Kun with everything, even where Eden Goglo were cheated in that election. So the only thing you can see Prince Johnson putting a hand on the thing in Nimba County is when the Guild man is inside it. So we want to tell our people that this election, all the representatives position in Nimba. Almost all they put Gio people there. Then even in the Yahweh Mesro era, where Joseph Pueblo was, they has another Manos brother there who joined the Unity Party that was in collaboration with the MDR. But because Prince Johnson now wanted Martinoke Timba to be elected as representative after Martinoke resigned a position from the internal affair to join Unity Party, Prince Johnson put a Gio brother who they call Odisha Demba against Martinoke Timba. And they did that so that they can reduce Martinoke vote, and then they set the stage for Taiwan who is from Green to be representative for the people from Yahweh Mesno. You see that making Gilman a representative for the play that is dominant Mano people. So we are saying there to say that we want our Mano people to open their eyes the way we can put our hand on the Gil people, how they can put their hand on us. Y'all trying for example.
That's what saying. You sound so troubled this morning. I call it Nimba to be something in the entire community.
Yeah. What we saying, Christopher, we are sounding this way because this is the reality. This is everything that been happening. Why our people are not been seeing that what we are telling them. Okay, we are not telling them divide Nimba County into two counties, but we say so long Prince Johnson say the Gio people are more than us, and we the Mano people we know that we are more in Nimba County. So let us join behind each other and let's do this voting. The best way we can vote now is let the Mano people go one side, so that when the government win 2024 next year, you see more Mano people in government. Same President we are 2017 and Prince Johnson were on the side of President we are. All the government just like in the Nimba County, that's also Gio people. I will talking to you. I just Luogon, a son from you.
Okay, we got a crust of the whole thing. It's a long audio. So we got a crust of the whole thing. The whole thing is that Prince Johnson is reportedly, according to you, reportedly silencing all of the Mano people from positions in Nimba County. If you are not Mano, you will not get any good position. In fact, he fought
If you are not Gil.
before and replaced them with Gil people. So to get the ball rolling, do you say what I believe that Senator Johnson is dividing the county by, prioritizing the Gil tribe that he comes from over the Mano people?
And George is lost. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm there. Like I said in the audio, I'm sorry you stopped. You didn't end the audio. There was a particular instance that I cited. Sometimes 2009 or 2010, the president nominated a son of Babli or Babli district. Babli district is the district that is occupied by our brothers and sisters from the Crown-speaking tribe that are part of Nimba County. This fellow by the name of Peter Kamwe was nominated to be development superintendent of Nimba County. And Senator Johnson vehemently opposed that nomination, and he threatened President Weah at the time for political threat that if Peter Kamwe becomes the development superintendent of Nimba County, he will not support the re-election of President Weah in 2023. And because President Weah needed his support and respected him so much, President Weah withdrew the nomination of Peter Kamwe, and Senator Johnson recommended a fellow called William Manos, a Gil fellow. And William Manos were appointed and confirmed as development superintendent. That's how things has been. And besides even me, the president of the conglomeration of Nimba County citizens, we call Nimba Kwado. Nimba Kwado president is Mr. Isaac Zedan from the time right after Secretary called Bankway. Isaac Zedan was recommended by Senator Johnson to LPRC as assistant security director. And when he sent the recommendation to the managing director of LPRC, he gave an instruction that before the recommendation is honored, the managing director would have heard from him, must have heard from him via phone or in person before any such communication is honored, because you can put the people on the impression that his people can put him on duress to do communication for them, even if he doesn't want to do it. So to get them off his back, he will do the communication, but there must be a confirmation from him. As he ran after that communication for more than 2 years, and he didn't get a job. But right within that same instance, that Isaac, recommendation was turned down, and a Guild Fellow of Hicks, was recommended in the same LPRC for the same assistant director of security job, and that fellow recommendation took less than 2 weeks, and today he's employed at LPRC. Like I said, the instant case with mine, I have the document in my presence. I'm very sorry because of the visibility here. Maybe we cannot show it. Senator Johnson did a recommendation for me at the MPA where I work. There's a vacancy for a higher level managerial position. I'm an assistant director at the MPA. There's a vacancy in my department for senior director, and I went to him. He did a recommendation for me. On my way carrying that recommendation, when my former boss, Honorable Bill Troy, was staying in the port, he called Bill and told Bill that letter that man bringing until you hear from me, do not take it seriously. I chased that letter, for more than 2 months, until one of his securities in the yard told me, he said, my man, they probably get instruction that before they do that thing, you have to make sure they have to call him and he must testify or validate that the communication indeed came from him and it with his willing man. Okay, so that's how we have been treated. But to the contrary, whenever there is an opportunity that involve people from the guild tribe, he expedites the process. Okay, so and whereas when there is election in Nimba, for instance, that they just ended election, Senator Johnson were overwhelmingly voted in Ganta, which is a Manos settlement. You are overwhelmingly voted in Seklepi, which is a Manos settlement. You are overwhelmingly voted around the Senikole, the Yahweh Mesno, and the Yapia area, the Yamen area. But on the contrary, all the Mano candidates that were on the ballot that went for vote in District 4, District 5, portion of District 3, which are dominant Gio people, he went there and gave a standing order that you cannot take off your intestine and put leaf in your stomach. Meaning, the Gio people should not reject their own for an outsider. He considered the Mano people as outsider in a sense, because intestine is within your system. A leaf is an standard, or substance or stuff that is not within the body. It's not compatible with the body. So that's the kind of parable he carried, to his people. And good to his word, the people voted as though they never knew those candidates that were on the ballot. Like I was saying, Nyatoye carry on massive development in our region. I used to canvass for President Weah. We even carry on road construction from the town, the first town from District 4 to enter District 5, they call Yao Tiaple. When we got there on our tour, on our assessment tour, the people cried that in our identical time, there have been no attention on the road, or reconditioning for more than 20 years. Especially so since Senator Johnson took over the county leadership as senator. There was a very, a bad history that the people gave account about the war, some of which we may not want to say it because, we are going far beyond that time. Okay? And because of that, we took a yellow machine from the Ministry of Public Works under the instruction of the president. And we built a road from Yao Tiaple all the way to Yao Lepula. Those from the region there, they understand what we're talking about. Okay? And that area was an abandoned, area, though populated communities. We built that road and the people were in jubilation. But just upon the statement that Senator Johnson gave the people, that you cannot take all your intestine and put leaf in your stomach, the people turned down, that good of President Weah, and they desperately voted the CDC in our area. So while we have been
I don't know if Jima has a question, but Jima, let me just ask Josh one question. Mr. Luogon, you're from the Mano tribe, and you are pushing for Mano solidarity. You are pushing for the upliftment of the Mano people, so to speak, in Nimba County. But you are voting for CDC. The standard bearer of that party is a crew man. He's not from Nimba County. But in the past election, in the just ended election, in fact, the election has not yet ended, but when all of the candidates were running, you had a Mano man from Nimba County who was running as presidential candidate on the LPP ticket in person of Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. And I understand that you vehemently campaigned against him. How do you compromise your fight for Nimba County when one of your sons is in the race and you voted against him?
You know, the issue of Councillor Gonglo being in a race at the first round of the election, it made it very difficult, if not complex, for some of us. I have been a citizen from 2005 when I entered into politics. And like I said in my audio, one, it is not Gilman in a process in Nimba. Senator Johnson or the rest will not present it as Nimba project. Or like you rightly said, in 2005, for instance, 2017, when Senator Johnson supported President Weah, then Senator Weah, he came to Nimba and told the people and revealed to the people of Nimba that the mother of George Weah is a Nimbayan who hailed from the B and Doro region in a particular town called Double Town. It's a part of Nimba County. So that history was established and was confirmed that indeed President Weah has a link, a family link from Nimba. His maternal, connection is from Nimba County. Okay? And likewise, the mother of Senator Jeremiah Kun is from Nimba. When Senator Jeremiah Kun went to the Southeast in a few times, he made it clear that he's from the town in Sino and the Chipoke, he called it Tani. And his father is from Sino, and President Weah should not be the only one to claim that he's the only Southeasterner. He himself, he is a Southeasterner. So the reason I spoke the way I did was to indicate these things. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo mother and father here from Nimba. So by this family link, it means that we have 4 sons of Nimba on the ballot. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, or Dr. Jeremiah Wapo, President George Manewia, whose mother hailed from B and Doro, and Dobatown, which is part of Nimba County, and that of Senator Jeremiah Kun. But the reason you see Senator Johnson decided to support Senator Jeremiah Kun's presence on the ballot is because amongst all of the candidates, he sees Senator Jeremiah Kun to be the closest to him, and because his mother is a Gil woman, and she hailed from the Gil region. So had it been, somebody who is neutral, who really want to see the good of Nimba at the beginning of this election, Senator Prince Johnson would have rallied the people of Nimba County to support Councillor Gonglo, because Councillor Gonglo has expressed his interest for the presidency as far back as 2021. Okay, at the time, Senator Jeremiah Kun, excuse me, has just got elected as senator of Nimba County right after the 2017 election. We were given a second round in District 1. Yeah, so what we say,
would you as George Luogon, mayor advocating for the Manos people in Nimba County, would you have voted for Councillor Gonglo if
in my capacity, like I said, I've been a citizen since 2005. There were a lot of consultations that we made, including reaching out to Honorable Dog Cooper, who hailed from Glaise Zopi, the same time as Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. There have been an outstanding issue between Honorable Dog Cooper and Tiawan Gonglo, as well as Honorable Martino Ketimba. But when the entire process started, I was very reluctant, though I've been a citizen. I was very reluctant because I saw the interest of Nimba. But people who should have supported this process to make it a reality, all of them withdrew from the process. So what they pushed us to was for us to go to our respective party and support our basis. Like for instance, Honorable Dog Cooper, after months of engagement with him to drop, whatever issue he had with Councillor Gonglo, so I had to support him in the presidential bid. On a fateful day, he called me at a location in Monrovia where he and Honorable Tingman, who also has issue with Councillor Gonglo, and another elderly brother of Nimba County, Honorable Harrison Luo, was in that meeting. I was somewhere around my office and I received a call from Honorable Dog Cooper that, "Oh, George, I want to see you." And he called me at the Ministry of Internal Affairs in the office of Honorable Martino Ketimba when he was still there as Deputy Minister for Operations. And when I went there, he told me, he said, "Oh, George, you have been behind me for this issue, or good to your negotiation, I have finally agreed to support Dor or to support Tiawan. I was very happy. I said, but then this is the issue. In fact, he made a statement. He said he doesn't want to be the Brutus in Councillor Gonglo's political career, which means if anybody could go against Councillor Gonglo, he doesn't want to be the one, because he and Councillor Gonglo hail from the same town, and not only being from the same town, but hail from the same quarter in Glaise-Opier. When he made that statement, it delighted me, and I was very much happy. And we thought that things were okay. So his next move was to negotiate with other stakeholders, like Senator Johnson and other people. But 2 weeks after we saw on Dorkobo taking a counter position from what he said. Okay, so I'm saying that to say that those people who are stakeholders from the country, who should have initiated the process to make it viable, all of them, they ran away from it, and they saw the candidate as someone who they could not work with. Okay, I'm talking about people who hail from the same town, from the same quarter, who have political prominence and relevance in Nimba, who could stand on the stage and preach this man and negotiate with other stakeholders to bring him on board. So Allah, we saw Dorkobo going the side of Jeremiah Kun, to the extent that he started.
Did we lose him? Well, folks, if you're joining us, we are in conversation with Mr. George Goanue Luogon, Senior. He's
okay. So as I was saying, Councillor Gonglo was posed and prepared to have been, to have run with Ambassador Baga. Had there been a negotiation,
Well, we think he's having problem with his internet, but he is advocating for all Manos people in Nimba County to stand one side in these elections to support President Weah, to support President Weah, while all the Guild people should stand one side to also support Senator Prince Johnson nomination that is in person of Jeremiah Kun, alongside with Joe Barker. So it's going to be, what he's calling for is that there should be a divided vote, because according to him, I think he's going to also touch on that he comes back, that Prince Johnson has always boasted that the Guild people are in majority more than the Manos people and the B people. So he is saying that, okay, since this is the case for which the Manos people have been reportedly marginalized by Prince Johnson, let all the Guild people go one side and vote for Barker, and let all the Manos people go one side and vote for President. We are saying, in fact, there are like 2 people left in the race. So, Jamal, what have you gathered so far from his interview before he comes by, and then you can ask your questions?
Yeah, it is quite interesting, because if you look at what is happening in Nimba County right now, it was a very good point you raised with the issue of Councillor Tiawa Gonglo, and who comes from Nimba County and also be a Manoman, and the Dr. Jeremiah Wapo. And there was a divided vote, but despite that, if you see what happened with these elections, consider that we agree with the results. Johnson still won. Johnson won. So what does he say? He said, like, does he stay does he still has power in Nimba County with regard to if are the Guilds a majority in Nimba County? That says a lot, because Johnson still boasting that he's still the godfather of Nimba County politically. So, and this election's result shows that Unity Party taking a lot of votes in Nimba County means that Johnson staying in control of Nimba in terms of things politically. So it's a lot of argument, but I think what I was told of George to be speaking would have been earlier on, but now we have 2 candidates on the front. I was just wanted to ask him with regard to those reps that was elected. We got 9 representatives were elected in Nimba County. I think 3 came from MDR. I want to know who they are, what their tribes are. The ethnicity in terms of Manos Guild. So I wanted to ask you on that question, because if you look at District 3, which is Nyeke K, which is MDR. We also have NSM Mansi Senior MDR also. We also have the CMDR as Mana. Those are 3 candidates out of the 9 candidates in Nimba County, all one on MDR. What does that mean? Is it like the Manos are in small quantity in terms of voting right in Nimba County? That's what President Senator Johnson is boasting. And this is what, so if he says that he's the godfather, he must have had something that he's proud of, like the numbers. He has the numbers. He also has
You know, I think that's a very good question you're asking, whether the Jews are in majority.
I'm gonna say the Manos. Oh no, yeah, the Gios are in majority because the names I just gave. If you can tell me, I know we all come from Nimba, but I'm not familiar with these names. Are they Mano names or Gio names? Like we have, I'll just go through it's the 9th district. We have District 1, Simon N. Brown Sr. He went as independent. He won as independent. Nya G. Flomo, who won on the CPP. We got Neka A. Gay, came on the MDR with Johnson's party. We got NSM Massier, Senior, which came from MDR. We got Samuel G. Koga, PUP. We got Twain D. Glekie, MDR. We got Musa Belete, District 7. CPP, we got C.S. Manage, NBR, that's District 8. We got Ta J. Jazzy Wongwe, independent. So the name I just called, you could tell me where are they from? Are they Mano or Gio's names?
Okay,
because
like he said clearly in his expose, he said that Ta Wongwe come from Gray, and I know Gray. If you go into Tapeta, you come from Ganta, you go all the way, you pass Secretary. Do you pass Secretary? Yeah, somewhere there. But Gray is just right on the road. There is
the question is is it Gio or Mano? It's a question I'm asking.
I think it should be Gio because the Gray area is Gio area because I remember my late daughter's mother comes from Towetan. And then from Tabeta, I mean, if you go to Tabeta, you start right on the road. Gray, the town is on the left hand, going, it's on the left hand, you take a road from there, go to Tabeta. So it's a dominant Gio area.
Right.
You take a road and go to Towetan, it's a dominant Gio area. So
another question on Linford would be, what is it significant now when the reps and senator positions have been casted already and this vote is in and they've elected leaders? Those are the people that are making decisions. And when it comes to presidency, it's not much of a deal. Why will it be significant?
I think his point is there will be appointments. Okay, say if we have wins, if we have wins, he will be the president and he has the right to appoint. So since both candidates, President Weah and JMP, are looking for votes, the country that will be able to give them more votes. I think that country should be able to benefit, or those countries that will give them more votes, those countries should be able to benefit in terms of appointment and thing. So this is his point, because he is saying that if all the Mayans just go together as one group and say, okay, the first president is a son of Nimba County, so let all the Mayans go and put that weight behind him. And if they win, Prince Johnson will do the usual thing according to him. Prince Johnson will just say, well, I'm the boss here now, I'm the big guy. So I would suggest to the president, or let's say if Bwaka win, so Prince Johnson will say, well, I'm the big guy right here, so I would suggest to President Bwaka who to appoint, and then he may or might go and appoint some people, leaving the amount of people who all put their weight behind him. So he is saying that since Prince Johnson have been doing this thing all the time, and in fact boasting that the Gio people are many than the amount of people. So let's go one side. Right here, it's just a test of strength, numerical strength, to see who is who. You know.
Okay. So, I agree with it. Comparatively, consider Jeremiah Cohn wins the election, vice president, compared to we are winning. Forget about position sharing right now. What are the possibilities of Nimba benefiting from under which leadership? Jeremiah Cohn being the vice. Let's forget the Gio and the Mano issue. We're looking at the county as a case right now. Forget about the traps right now, because you got the Mandingos, you got the B, you got other traps in there. Now we're talking about kind of numbers right now. It's said about traps benefiting or the county benefiting, because if consider Jeremiah Cohn wins the elections, the possibility of Nimba benefiting more from under his leadership is a much more far better than under George Weah.
Well, you know, those are all probabilities, and nobody can.
Well, his county, he would carry, but compared to the 6th year, George Weah, what did he do?
No, I mean not because it's his country. In fact, in the first thing you should remember is that Jeremiah Cohn is not going to be the president. He's not going to be the guy calling the shots. Okay, he's just assisting. So if you look at the GMP scenario with former President Salif, GMB clearly said that he could make suggestions from President Salim. We're not taking his suggestions. And then he even termed himself as a parked race car, okay, ready to race, but he's not starting. So
Okay.
it could be that it could be that if JMB wins, Jeremiah could get be that guy sitting by him, by this old man, and the old man using his superiority, power as president and as elderly man calling the shots. But we think our guest is back, so we'll go back to him, and Jemima, you can start with your questions. Josh, welcome. Do you hear us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Thank you. Sorry, I apologize. The internet, we had a lot of disruption.
We understand, my brother. We understand.
Yeah, George, we understand. Just a quick question, not to keep you too long, if you mind. Jamal here, Jamal Kamara. Also, I just picked something out of here while you were talking. Now, your name, George Goanue Luogon. I mean, Goanue should be a given name, is it? If I do understand well.
No, Mano.
Goanue is Mano. Man has come. Goanue.
He also, as well as in Gil, it's also Goanue. It's also in Gil as well. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Anyway, in Mano, in Gil.
Yes,
no,
it is.
Goanue is a Manoni. It's a Manoni.
Right. I grew up from Bond. I was born and raised in Bond. I got a lot of Gil friends, and I know, I'm also named by George. Just to speak, I'm from this sharing as you as well. So it's quite interesting to be here to ask you these questions. I was just quickly asking you. I was just going through some name with the names of representative elected in the past elections. Just quickly help me out here, George. We have District 7 Samuel Brown. Is he a man or a gay man?
District 1 Samuel Brown he's a Gil man because his mother is Gil, his father is Pele.
What about Nya Flomo from District 2? I just want to quickly go through something.
Nya Flomo is Mano. Nya Flomo is Mano.
What about Neka J Gay, District 3?
Nega Gay is Gil. We have other Mano people in the race. They didn't win. Nega Gay is
just one honest Marcia MDR.
Honest Marcia is Gil.
Samuel Koga.
Gil.
Tion Glekia.
Gil.
Okay, I know Musa Bay is your friend district. I won't call him. Say Mana.
Yeah. Say that.
Say Mana from MDR District 8.
Say Mano. District 8 is Mano.
Taze Wongwe.
That Wongwe is Gil.
So we have 2 Mano out of 9 districts right now. One Mandingo, 2 Mano.
Yeah.
The rest are Gils. That's what you're saying.
That's the issue. And the most disappointing.
George, I come in. I just have a question I'm asking you. I mean, the question we're asking, I will ask my colleague right now. It's quite interesting that there's some changes here. It's a reflection. So you're saying, does that say that there are too many Gils in Nimba compared to the Mano? Because if you see the vote here, 2 Manos out of 9 districts, right? Only 1 Mandingo and 2 Manos, 1 Mandingo, the rest are Gils. So the Manos voted for the Gils and gave them the political right to run decisions. So where were the Manos?
What happened is, when it comes to voting, the Manos vote irrespective of tribe. Okay, that have been our voting line. But unlike the Gil era, when you go there, they carry a simple parable. You cannot take out your intestine and put leaf. For instance, District 3. District 3 has both the Mano settlement, which is the Yame era, the Zor era, and that of the Bere era, which is Gil. We have the incumbent, who was a Mano man, or who is a Mano man, or Joseph Sonwabe. We have another Mano guy in the race, Anthony Kuwampa from Zor. But because in the election, you found out that the Gil candidate I call it Neka Gay got good number of votes from the Mano era. Unlike in the same election to the Gil era, Nega Gay swept all of the vote to the disadvantage of the Mano people. That's how they vote. But had it been that we vote in proportion to what they do, all this thing will not happen. Like District 9, for example. District 9 is a dominant Mano settlement. The Yahweh mentioned even I think only 3 or 4 times in the Shona are Gio. The Zule or Gray and how you call it Zia Ota and Newton.
Where's
Besides that,
Tabitha?
almost all of the time.
Is it Tabitha district now as well?
No, some District 9 and District 6, I like intertwine. You know, there are some portion of District 9 you see like in District 6. Tabitha is District 6.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Quickly.
So
Fine. It's okay. I understand that. Just quick question. I know you don't have much time. I'll call you ask you. I was just asking
yeah.
Laneford, because a question here now. You talk about trouble. People are saying like you're sounding like more troublist here right now. I know you're trying to put a case out. Why you didn't be campaigning these things way back where you will see, I mean, equal, instead of being talking about trap, why you didn't sound these out before after the election? Now you're talking about it's a 2-person off the rate, the president, Mr. Boakai and President Weah. And when he had too many manners, we will be making decision for you. And if you look at it, making a development decision, it will be going to the Manos districts, and you will not be having some benefit. So why are you not talking about voting for Senator Jeremiah Cohn, who is a son of Nimba? Comparatively, if he wins, they say the Nimba will benefit. Instead of talking about Nimba County as a county, you're speaking of trap here. Why Nimba is not benefiting from you? You're not talking about Nimba as a county. Instead of talking about Gio against Mano, Mano against Gio.
Or because the way in which opportunity have been distributed, that's one. And besides that, like I said, we've been moderate with this. We decided to ignore those harsh realities and live with it with the belief that our brothers and sisters from the Gio era will equally accept people from the Mountain and Mandingo era as one people living in the same country. But this has happened. Like if you can remember, after the 2011 elections, when similar action were meted against Madam Ide Gongluwe, right after the election, there was a move in Nimba to divide the country. People started to campaign again in 2014 after the election. Similar campaign went on. So what we decided, I being one of the lead campaigners for this, what we decided is that we will not divide our country geographically. But what we can do now is to have power balance. And the reason you see people always call for the division of Nimba after election is because majority of the tribes in Nimba are alienated and marginalized when it comes to job allocation. Okay, people of the Mano tribe, the Mandingo, the B, the people from Pabli. Like I gave an instant case with our development superintendent from the Pabli area, our nominated, and nominator was withdrawn because of contention from Senator Johnson. So we don't want a repeat of this situation where a majority of the tribes in Nimba will be marginalized after election. So since the people voted the way they voted on one instruction, somebody went and told them you cannot take all your intestine and put leave, and then they went by that instruction. What we want to do now is to enlighten our people that if we continue to vote the way we vote from the Mano region, all of us from the Mano region are going to be marginalized. Like it happened in the past 6 years. Like I gave you instances that have been happening. So if it is not about Gio person, it will not be publicized out there as Nimba County project. Like I said, President George Weah Moro is also from Nimba. We cannot say the people from B are not part of Nimba. That is an administrative district in Nimba. We and Doro is an administrative district in Nimba. Pabli is an administrative district in Nimba. All the areas combined make up Nimba County. So if we focus on a particular region of the country, then it means that there will be no balance of power in the country. And in the long run, if we don't, erect a checkpoint to this, we'll finally arrive at dividing the country, into 2 countries. And that's what some of us fear. So what we are campaigning on now is to ensure that there is a balance of power. Because now that Senator Johnson and Senator Jeremiah are on the other side of the political divide, if this side we all win, there's a possibility that there will be equal distribution of power. Because, like I said, when the Manos are in authority, when the other tribes are in authority, we have the soft spot to absorb the Gio as compared to these 2 Gio brothers who have been in authority for the past 18 years. This is just a reality. This is just a reality. Sometimes it sounds trouble, but sometimes we got to come up with the harsh reality so as to confront the future. Because if we don't do this, people will eventually getting into the point where the country will be divided like it happened to Lofa, like it happened to Grand Gile. and that's what we don't want to do. Our strength as a country is based on our population. It is the population of the people of Nimba County that makes us to be who we are. So if our population is not being fully utilized, when the people who we are taking as leader of the country are not taking decision to balance the country, geographically and ethnic wise, then it is our time that we speak to our people to take some harsh decision so that we'll have a balance in power, that everybody will have a share in government, so that we will not be thinking about dividing the country after election. Because just watch what I'm telling you. After this election, God forbid, if Joseph Baga wins and Senator Johnson and his crewing sit on the administration of the country, in 2-3 years from now, some of us we may not be in this campaign because we have not been part of it in the past. People will rise up to call for the division of Nimba into 2 counties because of the way voting goes. So we don't want that. And as we are doing this, our Gio brother who are also being, ashamed of this, very archaic way of voting. They are also in the people era telling them to change that mode of voting so as to not divide the country tomorrow, as we the amount of people have been complaining. So this is just a reality. Okay? So Senator Johnson, as a senator, we expected him like in the past. Nimba County always used to have one Manos senator, one Gio senator. But from the time he fought and succeeded in removing Senator Adolphus Dodo, he had never turned his face one day to supporting a Manos or other tribe to become a senator, to help to join him in the House of Senate. All of his choice of candidates in the country have always been of the Gio tribe. And we say no. If you are the godfather and people listen to you as he are portrayed and the people are demonstrated to listen to him, then you should take decisions that will balance the country administratively and politically. If that happens, then the people will live harmoniously and there will be no decision tomorrow to divide the country or for us to be saying what we're saying. Because there's no equal distribution of opportunities. That's why you see we will come up with this kind of statement so as to force the equal distribution of opportunity, so that everybody can have a voice in the administration of our country.
Okay. George, how much do you reach? Sorry, how much do you reach out to because not many people listen to you from this radio station? How much you reach out to the people that they got the right to vote, to tell them this is the story? How far have you been doing this, and how has it been going on? And some of them may say, George, you are insignificant because compared to Johnson, he's a power in, he's a king's maker, and he's powerful. People listen to him. You are small potato compared to Senator Johnson. How will you reconcile with this?
Senator Johnson has a platform. Honestly, when it comes to having a platform, I will in no way say I'm relevant, politically than Senator Johnson. But what has sparked all this debate is because of what he been doing to section of the country. Okay, like you said, we have been carrying this message. The first time the message was heard on Voice of Gomba before we even speak to Chris Fan Encyclopedia, it was warmly received by the people. As we speak, the people from District 8 are now using this message as a reliance for this campaign. Okay, so the effect of this message will be seen in the vote that will come out in the runoff, because people are seeing clear that those from the Manos region to deserve opportunity. There are a lot of educated people from the Manos region, from the Mandingo community, from the B area, from the Pabli area, who also deserve opportunity to work in the local and national government of in the local government of Nimba County, as well as the national government of Liberia, through local recommendation. But those people have been forgetting, those people have been ignored, the plan has not been seen because one man want to see only one side of the country in power. That's how you have been. If you look at even the PMC election that were here in Nimba, in the midst of 11 caucus members, Senator Johnson went ahead as soon as he got there. He handpicked few people, most of whom are Gio people, and he announced them as winner of the election. And after that election, you heard an infamous statement where one of the guys from the Manos Bell, who have put in so much in the election, in person of Anson Goba, he also contested the going election on a senatorial ticket. Okay, Goba went and told Senator Johnson that because he had made a lot of expenses in the PNC election, and the election went the way it went, through Senator Johnson, instrumentality, you are going to move for Senator Johnson to ensure that all of his money is reimbursed or the election is heard. And Senator Johnson, challenge the man that there will be no election here. And the man said, if he doesn't have election, you will move on him and he will go and cause to damage his university. There was Senator Johnson made an infamous statement that he is old, after he about 70 years old, and he's ready to go see Jesus. The young man too challenged him that he said he ready to go see Jesus. Because ready to go see Jesus, literally he was saying he ready to die. So anybody may attempt to go to the university, he will kill. He was very careful to make such statement openly. So he said he's ready to go see Jesus. So that's how he had been pushing people against the war in the country. Okay, and on the PMC, the leader of the PMC, the head of the PMC, Harris Wimi, is a Guillaume. The treasurer of the PMC, Sentaku, a Guillaume. Only one man guy they brought on the PMC, I think, as Secretary General. Besides that, all of the leadership, okay, country health officer, Gio, all the people, and we have qualified people. So the best thing Senator Johnson would have done for himself to avoid such a kind of debate was to look at the administration of the country and balance the power. This country have far traps. Thank God you say you have an origin in Nimba. You grew up from Bang. Nimba County is not only about Mano and Gio, okay? But under Senator Johnson, Nimba County have been more or less a Gio County as compared to Mano. In fact, he goes on the pulpit in Monrovia and he preach that the Gio people are in dominance in Nimba as compared to the Mano or any other tribe. But look at the geographic distribution of the country. District 1, Ganta, is where La Coba Ganda is Mano settlement. District 8, Mano settlement. District 9, Mano settlement. District 2, Mano settlement. District 7, a very little settlement of the Gio area was at 7 after the 2011, voter national election demarcation. And then District 3 is also shared by the Mano and the Gio. So if you look at it, technically the only district that I cover by the Gio people are District 4 and District 5, because in the District 6 area, we also have portion of that District 6 area that cover the Crown people, which is the Babi administrative district. So how can you look at such a geographic distribution of the country, or demographic, or distribution of the country, and then you say Gio people are in dominance? But what Senator Johnson I failed to understand is that the Mano people and the other tribes have been voting irrespective of tribes. But whereas when you go in the Gio area, he used that tribalistic campaign message, and then he claimed all of the votes and added to the ones he would get from the Mano area, and that making him a leader. Okay, that's how he has been triumphing over other tribes. But he has not been looking at the reality. So he always make it look like the Gio people are more. That's why he's challenging.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. It seems you are in this fight, but you kind of alone, because I see one of the heavyweights from the Mano belt, Councillor Tawan Gonglo, who just ran, in fact, as a candidate in the elections, has endorsed the same side that Senator Johnson is on. So how strong you think you're gonna make an impact within the very Mano area where you're fighting for? Because the thing is that Mano belt that you're fighting for, half of it is also supporting Councillor Gonglo. So when he leans towards the side that Senator Johnson is, it's possible that he could take the votes for him from the Mano belt there. So how strong you think, or how effective you think your campaign is going to be in the Mano region?
What happened with Councillor Gonglo is that Councillor Gonglo party was pushed to go to south of the United Party, because most of the executives of the LPP are Lofians. The chairman of the LPP is a Lofian. The secretary general of the LPP is a Lofian. So in my mind, and wisdom will tell you that Councillor Gonglo decided to be institutional, to be institutionally disciplined by going the direction of his party, where most of the executive committee members of the party chose to go. At this bend, the decision of Councillor Gonglo as a president, you wouldn't have seen either Gonglo were supporting the CDC, for instance. Councillor Gonglo, other brother who is in the state, Kerebo, he has not come on the platform to support the CDC, but he doesn't support his brother's decision. He has not come to openly disagree with his brother. In that press conference, Councillor Gonglo is a very articulate person. He's not a person who goes on an occasion and shy away from speaking. You will notice Councillor Gonglo did not speak at that press conference because he decided to obey the decision of his institution, even if it were against his will. But honestly speaking, Councillor Gonglo would not have loved to go in bed with Prince Johnson, whom he believed on several occasions he said it, that Prince Johnson brought Jeremiah Kun in this election so as to narrow his chance in the election, which is a fact. Because Councillor Gonglo was in the election.
Are you willing at any time, between now and elections to engage Councillor Goanue on this issue? Lay your platform before him and explain to him why you're doing this. Are you willing to do that?
If I have the time, I will do that. But why I will not do that is because with all the endorsement Councillor Goanue did, watch what I'm telling you, follow the politics in Nimba. Councillor Goanue will not come to Nimba to campaign for the United Party. I'm serious about it.
Why not?
Councillor Goanue will not come. He will not be stopped because he is not 100% convinced with that decision, because that decision is the decision of majority of the executive committee member of his party. He was forced. I don't want to say coerced. He was forced to obey the decision of the institution. Councillor Goanue will not come to Nimba to campaign. As you speak, Mala Inglo, Ide Goanue is on the ground campaigning for the CDC.
I was just about to ask you, how are you coordinating with Ide? Because it seems the both of you, though, may not be fighting the same cause, but the both of you are kind of campaigning for President Weah. And Ide being one of the heavyweights in the county, his former superintendent, I think she has following. So are you also coordinating with her? Does she buy your idea?
Very well. In as much as she are not openly by my idea, but Ide is a victim of what we are saying. When Ide contested the election in 2020, Ide got vote. Ide and Senator Jeremiah Kun got vote competitively in the Manos region, where Ide even whipped Senator Jeremiah Kun in his incumbent district number 1. But when we went to the Goanue region, the same Goanue region again, there where Ide lost the election to Jeremiah Kun. So this thing has had a long-term effect on people of the other tribe in the country. So Ide and myself, we are appear, Ide Goanue and myself, we are appear on 1 or 2 rallies. Like recently, we're in Zlui, around the Ga area. We're in Zlui, where she was invited to speak to the Ga women, for the re-election of President Weah. And I think I posted that on my Facebook also. So Ide is a fanatic of the message we carry. She might have a different diction, in her messaging, but we believe in the same philosophy that Nimba people, we should not go, or Manos people, we should not continue to go the way we go, because at the end of the day, we will be we are victims of our decisions.
Okay, just before Chima comes in, I know he's ready. But let me ask you this hypothetical question, right? Are you?
Yeah.
Is your decision in protest to what Senator Johnson has been doing, or are you totally convinced that President Weah is the best man for Liberia now?
Actually, President Weah is the best man for Liberia. My decision is in no way in protest. And one of the things again we want to do is, the manner in which the people voted, my brother, it portrayed a very negative image of Nimba County. See, for instance, let's put politics aside. The road that the United Party government started between Ganta to Senikole, they spent 12 years on that road. That road was not completed. Just recently, up to 2021, to leave Ganta to enter Senikole at this time of the year, it was not easy. Today, you drive from Ganta to Senikole with ease and come back, there is no hindrance. That's one. But the most frustrating part was the vote that President Weah got in Kample. Kample have been one of the challenge areas in Nimba County in terms of road accessibility. Today, there is an asphalt pavement in the street of Kample. But with all of that, the people look at those developments, and when Senator Johnson went and told them, you cannot take all your intestine and put leave there, the vote that came from Kample, when you listen to the vote for Kample, you feel very discouraged and you'll be very ashamed. It was an indication of ingratitude. So what we are telling our people is Nimba County cannot be portrayed as ungrateful county. Look at the road from Ganta to go to Saclapie. Just right after PYJ Polytechnic, where he built a polytechnic, that road used to be a challenge area. But today, there is an asphalt pavement almost to Yasuno. As we speak today, I just came from Saclapie. There is a work ongoing now as we speak. The contractors are on the road, irrespective of the vote that came. Can you imagine? So if we do not come together, and God forbid this government is changed, the president that is coming to power, he doesn't have road in his own home. Who knows whether he will prioritize taking the road from Uganda to reach the Menikoma if we start thinking about other part of the country. So what we were talking about is to rescue. The vice president doesn't have power. Joseph Baka was vice president for 12 years. Road didn't enter Lofa to president. We have to road from Banga, and today road is in asphalt pavement is in Salaye. Vice president is a ceremonial position, especially in Liberia, where Joseph Baka made a confession that he was an old car or old racing car park for 12 years. That statement was an expression of frustration. It was not just because he wanted to be political, but that's the reality. So vice president cannot even appoint. Okay, before your appointment is accepted, the president must see wisdom in it, and the president must be the one to endorse it. So what we are saying is, Nimba County is on the right trajectory when it comes to development. And any attempt for us to take our hand from under this government, we're going to have a lot of unfinished projects in Nimba that may not even be completed in our generation until power comes back to where it is now, where we are benefiting. That's our stance. And we are telling our Manos people that we should appreciate it because the road now is at the verge of 18 or how you call it, Tapeta. Since that referral hospital was constructed by United Party-led government, we have not been able to fully utilize that road, that hospital, because of bad road connectivity. There was a particular instance where I was sometime around grade in 2019, and there was a woman in labor. That woman could not be transferred to Tapeta Hospital because of bad road condition. Just imagine. So we will have a president who is taking road connectivity to us. What else do we need? And then Senator Johnson will come and make statement that are far from reality just to change the people's mind against the government. And then the people voted the way they voted, especially in his region. So we are saying, no, it is about time. Those that can listen to us, who we can speak the same dialect, they understand. I think it's about time that we do it that way, as our Geo counterpart are in the Geo region too, speaking the same message, but in another way to the people. Just to get the people change that way of voting, so that we can vote people based on tangibles and not be based on traps.
Somebody say you are taking risk for being so early to go against Prince Johnson in a way. The man who claims that Nimba County, I mean, he's the godfather of Nimba County. What if President Weah does not win this election, and then Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kun, Senator Jeremiah Kun, and former VP GMP win, and Prince Johnson is going to be a big guy in the government. That is a showcase. Don't you think you are taking risk? What will happen to the Manos sector of Nimba County?
The only risk we are
of your utterances or your advocacy.
The only risk that we are taking is maybe you get me out of job because I work with a public entity. And that is obvious. What I say this now, I don't say it. What will happen that is obvious, that is imminent, that have been happening is Manos people, Mandingo people, Bui people, Bad people will be marginalized. Because that has been the case. So either we speak now or we remain quiet, and then we have a perpetuation of what has been happening. So what we are saying now is to abort the bad governance that have been happening in our country. Whether we speak now or not, it is the nature of the governance. So perhaps speaking about it today will serve as a caveat that when we want to take that step, people will say, people spoke about this yesterday, so since you are in power, do not do this. Consider one Nimba. So it is two-way. Speaking about it also send a caveat that tomorrow when he wants to perpetuate his action, you will reflect on statement that someone are making today, that this man is a Nimba County man. Don't treat him because he's Manos. Do not abort this man appointment because he's from Pabli. Understand that people from Pabli are also part of Nimba County. Do not abort this man appointment into government because he's from Bui and Doro. Understand that Bui and Doro is part of Nimba. So the message is two ways. President we are winning is imminent, and we know that President we are winning. But the message we are sending is that just in case the worst case scenario, Joseph Baka wins, those people on the other side should know that all of us in Nimba, we are Nimbarians, and we belong to this country. We are entitled to the good of this country. When opportunity comes, let it be balanced. It shouldn't be one-sided as they are been. That's the advocacy. Unlike other people that will come and say,
well, let's consider under Joe Baka government. Are you willing to cooperate? Are you willing to engage that government and make proposals for Nimba, for the interest of Nimba County?
Worst case scenario, if President Weah doesn't win, worst case scenario, what we're saying, if we see a perpetuation of what Senator Johnson are doing in the next government, if they be in the mantle authority, we will continue to speak. Because the only thing you will do is to aid and nip out from job. And by the grace of God, there are other people that will live to tell the story. And we believe that we will live to tell the story. But the good of the thing is, Nimba County must be united. And we should see one Nimba. We should see people irrespective of tribe. When opportunity comes, let it be distributed irrespective of tribe. That's the issue. That's what we stand for. Okay, one president, we are wins, Joseph Boakai wins. We are sending this message here so that people who are in authority will see that a certain group of people are being marginalized and they cannot hold back that war anymore. And there is a need that they adjust to the manner and form they run in the country. It is wrong. We are saying it today. Whoever wins tomorrow, if President Weah wins, even our own Manos brother, even our own Gil brother, like Honorable Garrison Yelu, who is one of the campaigner for the Weah, if those people are in authority and they do the same thing, we will speak the same way we speak. Because what we want to see is we want to see a unified Nimba where people will be given job opportunity, not because of tribe, but because of the origin from a county called Nimba County. We don't want people to be seeing tribe. That have been very it affected a lot of people. A vast majority of people have been affected by this. So, like I said before, for every occasion, there's a master of ceremony. Okay? So, to this occasion, some of us will volunteer to be a master to this ceremony so that people can hear what has been happening in Nimba, so that all of that have the vote to talk into it, they can talk into it so that the course of activities in Nimba politically can be changed. Because this has not done good for us, it will continue to divide, it will continue to tread on this path. In the long run, people will call for the geographic division of Nimba where we'll have two counties, in segments. And that's what we don't want. We want to remain together as a whole and let the decision that our people take be holistic to include all of us where we benefit irrespective of our tribes. That's what we say.
Chima?
George, thank you very much. Being a good master of ceremony for Nimba County, thank you. Quickly, with regard to somebody would say, Senator Johnson say one of the statements that George Weah failed on his promises to Nimba County. This is the reason he's taking his vote to Unity Party, who will listen to him and deliver Nimba County. So he will deliver Nimba County to Unity Party. So they would do what George Weah failed to do for Nimba County. You just counted for 6 years. Some probably could not be Johnson alone. People have saying, people in Nimba County may have said, look, Weah did not do much for Nimba County, despite we being a rich vote county in Liberia. And if you see Nimba from Ganta down to other counties, Ganta seems to be one of the industrial commercial city in Liberia right now compared to Monrovia. And that came honor from 12 years of Johnson, Madam Johnson, up to why Joe Barker was the vice president. And now, there are a lot of things happening now, development going in Nimba County right now. Then you give credit to the alien government to get to the road from Monrovia to Ganta. You could see that pavement was a very good road. And what much, apart from the roads you just mentioned, what much the Weah government has done for Nimba County so far? We have, you just mentioned, like the referral hospital built, the Jassim Abdul Hospital, Memorial Hospital built in Tapita. There's no road network to the hospital. And George Weah was there for 6 years. It did not connect from Secretary to Tapita, at least, to get people referred. And you're telling me that we should vote for George Weah not 6 years? What am I going to get out of it, please?
Development is a process. It's not an event. Like you rightly said, the road from Ganda to Secretary, for example, the stretch of road had gone about, let's say, at least 50%, and the road from Sekimpa to Logwato, which had entered Kampley, is another development. For the first time, Ganda has a city hall that is 60% near completion because the construction already reached little level, and they are like trying to do get it ready for roofing and all that stuff. Okay,
George,
and there are
priority because let me hold you a little bit because we talk about. I'll just talk about the Jassim Abdul Memorial Hospital in Nimba County, which is one of the major hospitals after JFK in Monrovia, and there's no road for at least Sakalape is one of the major cities after Ganta to link to Tapita. There's no road network. How will you get people referred? You just mentioned that.
Except in the past where the road you're talking about was not pliable at this time of the year. We don't have asphalt, pavement there, but the road is very clean now. You can have taxi driving from Ganda straight to Tapeta. This is reality. There are machines on that road taking care of the road that at this time of the year, in the rainy season, that road is pliable. The road is not like before. The road is been prepared for asphalt pavement. That's reality. And besides that, go to Bank, where we had a dilapidated high school on the president tour in 2020. he instructed that there be a high school. There's a morning high school in Ban today. The hospital that was built in Senegal, the GW Hardy Hospital, that hospital is very close to the train track. It has affected a lot of patients, especially operation patients, and this government chose that hospital be relocated. Okay, and with the relocation project or process to our hospital around Sakimpa is ongoing. So those are some of the tangible that government, take in your area, like all of the areas in the country. Understand that Nimba is not the only country. Okay, the same government had taken role from Banga, the structure role from Banga to Salaye. So what the president is doing is, in the absence of foreign direct investment because of global, pandemic, the president has decided that the local revenue that we generate is distributed equally. I'm sorry, I'm going out of power. I will not be able to continue this podcast.
Okay. We want to say thank you very much for honoring our call, and we always open to you whenever you know that there is something you want us to talk about, especially concerning what you are fighting for. Let us know, and we'll be here to serve the Liberian people. Thanks very much, Jima. Any final word for George?
Thank you, George, for coming. Thanks for being a good master of ceremony. Wish you well in your campaign, and good luck, my brother.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and I hope we have a longer conversation. I'm sorry, our electricity. Yeah, I read it with my phone.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Thank you, Mr. Logan.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep in contact.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Linfo.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, it's quite an interesting story. Liberia, I mean, with looking what's happening in Nimba County at the moment, I mean, he highlighted some stuff, but people may say that he's just making a public relation for George Weah. After 6 years, we have much to be done for Nimba County. After Johnson's turn over Nimba to Weah, and you're just counting few other development in the county. So people are thinking, what do you see where he says like, I just still wonder whether he stays significant and his all these statements he's making, whether it will make any changes in the situation.
Well, the thing here is that yes, we could look at it this way, like what the point you're stressing, like Senator Johnson delivered Nimba County to President Weah 6 years ago, and you can hardly count significant development except for the road project and that we're talking about. Yes, road is also development, but the question is, the money that ArcelorMittal was supposed or is giving, because I'm sure that they gave that money for environmental things. I don't know the name. Actually, I don't know the name. The acronym under which that fund is being distributed, but they do give money to 3 counties: Nimba, Bonk, and Bassa. We don't know whether the government has actually given that money, and if so, what was that money used for? And I think that's one of the reasons why Prince Johnson said he cannot support President Weah any longer, because he is saying that President Weah's government had not made that, had not delivered that money to the country. And secondly, Prince Johnson is also fighting for, according to him, for Nimba citizens that in the government, the job that were promised Nimba citizens were not given, except for one ministerial position from Telecom, the Ministry of Telecommunication, I think, something like that. And that's why he withdrew his candidacy or his support from Weah's candidacy. But the question is, like you rightly ask, is this message resonating with the people? Because I was just about to ask him one question. Saying one thing is saying these things is another thing, but you got the actual photos on the ground, the elders, the older people in Nimba County, the town chiefs, clan chiefs. What are they thinking? Are they thinking like you, especially from the Manos belt? Are they thinking like you're thinking? And that's why I brought in the Taiwan factor, because Taiwan is a heavyweight in Nimba, especially from the Manos area too. But this is a man that went and supported the same group that you are campaigning against. So I think it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough fight unless they can do a lot of work, because I know Taiwan might carry significant votes behind him, to Boakai, and at the same time, the CDC too. Don't overlook them, because nobody will even expect that CDC would have gotten enough votes. Based on the fact that Prince Johnson said he was delivering the whole Nimba County to Boakai, and for CDC to be a tough fighter in Nimba, I think that's commendable, for them too.
Yes, you're right about that, because because you cannot underestimate Johnson power. We said it over here. Of course, we thought he wouldn't have won that most vote in Nimba compared to the children of Nimba, like Theo Gonglo,
and he himself, even that Prince Johnson himself was re-elected. In fact, he won massively.
Massive vote. So what he been saying, you cannot underestimate him. That he still runs power, he wields power in Nimba County, because the amount of votes he commanded in the recent elections. If you look at the candidates of the representative position, electoral position in Nimba County, out of the 9, 3 were taken by MDR. That's Prince Johnson's party. Then 2 for independent candidates, 1 from CPP. 1 from CPP, 1 from PUP. So Johnson State commands. He got a lot of his own ethnic group, which is the so-called, which I don't want to align with the gear trap, are in the House of Representatives to make decision. They're making decisions.
And furthermore, looking at the mindset of the voters that we have, because I got family members who I was supporting, or I'm supporting Alexander Cummings, right? I got family members who support Joe Boakai, and I asked them why. They say, why are you supporting the old man? They say, no, because everybody voting for. So given the kind of mindset that our people got, and they said, but who won the senatorial post, that Prince Johnson? They said, but the man get power, so they send the man won, so all I'll go vote for. The kind of mindset they got, that they vote for people who are winning, because they don't want to be the loser. So they wait, and then want to know who winning, then they go on the person's side. And if you see the votes that Boakai got, it's all because some people felt that he was winning. So they say, but the man winning, so we don't want to go waste our vote on the other side. So we just go there, whether we like it or not, or whether he's telling you anything. So, with the kind of mindset, I think it's going to be a tough fight in Nimba County. And to bring in the Manos Geo factor, I think that's going to be, that's where the real fight will be. I'm not talking about physical fight, but the real hard work will be, because you have to work hard to change the minds of most of the Manos people who are supporting Boakai. So it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, Linford, the one question probably I wanted to ask George before he left. I think you may help me out here. I'm just trying to figure out what they say. If you look at the representative positions where elected, most of them are Gives, fine. And if they're making decisions, they're not making decisions for the Gives, they're making decisions for Nimba County as well. So Nimba should benefit from that stuff. So someone will say, why are you crying foul? Why I'm coming. I just want you to help me out here. I want you to help me out here, yeah? And why are you fighting? Are you crying for positions because many Manos did not get jobs? This is what you're fighting for. Are you not speaking? That's why I'm asking you. You're not speaking for Nimba County as a county, which is everybody's interest, instead of speaking for tribe or ethnicity. That is why many Manos are not giving jobs. Because if these girls are in power, they're making decision in the House of Representatives, are making decision for Nimba County as a whole, not for the ethnic tribe. So why are you shouting? Why are you fighting? Why can't you say, let's speak for the interest of Nimba instead of speaking of ethnicity? Is you're not sowing division of ethnicity in Nimba County? Is it not something I wanted to ask him? Probably could help me out here with that question.
Okay, but I think he did cite examples from the past where people, amount of people who were appointed to some positions were marginalized and their jobs taken back, dismissed, or people who were supposed to even benefit were blocked by Senator
That's not a point. It's about that individuality.
But listen. You did ask a question. You want him to. You want his fight to be along the line that he's fighting for the entire Nimba County.
Not for ethnicity. No.
Yeah. But he is saying that whatever happens is only being enjoyed by that section of Nimba County where the Geo people come from. So he wants it to be equally spread, Because the thing is, if
what is in the Gio region are being job by them? Tell me, show me one or two.
power, he talk about power, he talk about senator. Now, he even also cited an example that in the past there have been, there were the situation during the days of George Koko and the rest of the people. The situation was that they had two senators, one from the Manos section, one from the Gio. But since Prince Johnson came 18 years ago, it's all been from where? From the Gio side. The representatives are in dominant from the Gio side. Okay, the two senators are from the Gio side. A lot of appointments coming. They all are Gio people. No other tribes in Nimba is benefiting. So I think his fear is that even if he said, "Well, I wanted to be for Nimba," but like you rightly said, all of the let's say majority of the House representatives are where from the Gio session. So what guarantee do you have, or does anyone from Nimba County have, that if you advocate for the whole Nimba, that the whole Nimba will benefit? No, it might only be like, say, your Bill Hospital. The lawmakers from the Giosa, and they are indominant, they can say, okay, we pay it to the Giosa. If the road connectivity is we carry there, anything they say, let's carry there in the Giosa. So that's his fear, and that's what he's fighting against.
All right, that's. I mean, sir, I think we hope to have you another time to make. It was quite interesting. It was quite an interesting guest.
Yeah, I think it was quite interesting
because you said there was a harsh reality living with. Speaking of ethnicity, is a very, very tough topic, very sensitive topic to deal with. More especially when you're speaking against two tribes that are much more related. If you saw first cousins in Nimba County, Gio and the Manos, when you're speaking against, each other, there's going to be a serious issue because it's a very, very sensitive issue to talk in the public manner. It may have been. So I don't know, like you ask, why has he been talking to the older people? Because I know Nimba is one of the well-cultured county where you have to go from certain layers. It comes from the youth to certain group and to the elderly and to the councils of zones and stuff like that. A lot of layers in Nimba County. So these things should have reached to that level where they will say, okay, let's reach out to Johnson, whoever it is, to make sure that we have some kind of division of jobs or whatever, in terms of Nimba, so every county will benefit. But why he will be the only single guy together with either Gonglush, campaigning for this? Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not playing. I'm not talking for him. I'm just making. Doing the devil's advocacy here. I don't think he's alone. But the problem here is, though we did not ask him that question that before he left, whether he's engaging with the older people on the ground. But if you go back a couple of months ago, coming to the elections period, there was this fracas between Zokwia and Prince Johnson. Zokwia, I think Abo P, that's his real name. He's, according to him, he's claiming to be the chief elder for Nimba County, and there was another guy who Prince Johnson selected to be the chief elder. So you can see that you can see that there is this division still, even at the layers that you are naming. Now, if you go to the youth, I'm sure, if you go to the youth again, you go to the youth from the Manos side, they may have some complaint against the youths from the Gio side, or the Gio side should have some complaint against the Manos side, even the B. So you see, the thing is, it's all about interest, and this is politics. It's all about interest. So it's like Milton TJ once defined government, that government is like a big house in the middle of the town, and everybody owns that house, but everybody cannot go inside at the same time. So the people that are inside are the ones who know what is there, enjoy everything that is there. So this is a scenario. There are 5 tribes in Nimba County. So if one group of tribes is dominating everything, the appointment, the top local government positions in the county, so the rest of them will have to raise eyebrows. They become curious. Why is it happening this way? But let's recognize few of our people who stay talk. Let's recognize few of the people who have been watching us. Fania Boyu is there. She's also a Nimayan. And Winston Cooper is there. Liferson, Denjiman, Kun is here. With no relationship to Jeremiah Kundo. and you gotta know this other Kun here from Kisi Kun. That one I know, that my booty here, it. So except now, Jeremiah Kun, I don't know. Mema Ellie Andrews is here, and Francis Mensah, our EFLA chairperson is here, and also say Bawi. I want to believe that say Bawi is out from Nimba County or Bottom County, somewhere around there. And J. Support King. And so several other people were here, or Alan Goa was here, Ambassador Michael Foster, Dr. Law Bryan, Jackie Bruce was here earlier on, Alan Goa was here, and Grateful G, and also Goanue Luogon was here. But we just want to say thanks for being with us. For those of you who followed us today, we'll be back here on Friday. That is Friday, that 3 days from now. And you know, people thought we were out of here, but no, we are here. It was just right after the elections. We had to take some break and chill out, and you know.
How you call that? Technical break?
Yeah, electoral technical break.
So we will be coming down on the CPP position soon, because what we say we're kind of a mouthpiece for CPP here. We'll be breaking it down bit by bit and tell you what you think. And we'll also we'll be welcoming your comments, your suggestions, and thinking. By the way, Linford, by way of information, this is going to be a borderline. We said it over and over. It's going to be borderline Europe. It's still going to be here no matter what it is. We a kind of European platform, and we want to be opening up to most of our European-based Liberians that will be having anything. Business people, professional people, anything, any idea. We want to make sure we expose our, get out there. And if you got something new or something people want to know about, always call on Linford. Is there, or you drop the line on this, and I'll stop. We will see what we can do. And we want to have a grant interview. What is important, we want to share with our people, Liberians in the diaspora, also as well as back home. We will also welcome your suggestions and also be part of the show. And then we'll ask you, and also ask you the right questions. If we don't know, we will ask you to tell us what you know. And by the way, Linford, over the weekend, I think a week ago, we had elections in the UK, and we had a new president-elect, which is Anthony Colley Jr. I will maybe bringing for that's the umbrella library organization in the UK called ULOC, and I will be inviting him soon. We have not sent any official invitation to him, but we'll be doing it soon to have him here to tell us what he will be doing for the next term, his term in office. That's Anthony Colley Jr. is a president-elect of the library organization in the UK. I'll call ULOC.
So he's probably going to be our guest here on Friday.
Oh, not we are not saying any information, official information to him yet, but we will let you know when it is out. We'll let you know as soon as possible.
Okay. Well, sorry. You know, we did change the time back 1 hour, so it's actually 9:43 here, going to 10 o'clock. So it should be like 11 o'clock now, going to 11 o'clock. So if you see some more journey, that's the reason. But Chima, I want to say I think that was it for this week's edition, or for this edition of the Bottom Liberia. We are back again, and we'll be here carrying out the work for the Liberian people. It's not only about elections. Like Chima said, we are here. We are a European platform, so we'll also be talking to Francis Mensah since he got elected. It's been a couple of days now, or a couple of months rather, since he got elected. We want to see what EFLA is doing, what is EFLA's plan for the coming New Year. You know, New Year is coming, and let me say welcome to my cousin Marian K.T. Kama. She's watching all the way there from Ganta City, Nimba County. So we want to say thank you for being with us, and we hope that we can be here on Friday with another interesting discussion. Like Jima said, we'll be breaking down. I think by that time, the CPP would have already endorsed, because Mr. Cummings said he's not going to keep the Liberian people waiting. You know, we see the funny thing, Jima, just before we say got a 10-15. Yeah.
Tomorrow you'll be telling us. Yeah. Tomorrow you'll be telling us.
Yeah, we got 10-15 minutes left. So what do you see? I mean, drama unfolding. I mean, where you see Henry Costa breaking away from the Unity Party, and things just going, things falling apart. I mean, the center doesn't seem to be holding. What's going on?
Yeah, we saw what's happening when his father cross-capped to CDC some months back. We knew that he's going to eventually end up at the CDC. He just finally had time to declare himself. You know, he was a bit quiet when he had the issue with when he was not appointed or selected as the running mate for Ambassador Boyka. We knew which way. He couldn't have gone to CPP anyway, because there was no space for him. So what he will end up with would be CDC. That was the end of the road for him. So we expected him to be at CDC. That's why insulting George Weah. You should also know George Weah is a very, very patient guy. I mean, see the kind of insult that went across to that guy. I mean, his mom, everybody, every generation, he still welcome him. I'm making him president. He has a good side, though. Don't overlook that. I mean, this guy really rained insults on George Weah for the past year.
Okay, now I'll stop you right there. You think George Weah is that very good? Samaritan is a very good guy.
No, I mean,
you slap his heart and you turn it on. No,
yeah,
listen.
I don't. Listen,
I'll make a point. I'll make a point. Where we are now, even if Costa, yes, I think today he made a podcast which is very heavy. I tried to listen to it, but I didn't have the time, so right after I'm going to listen to it. And I think he came down very hard on Ome Joe Bwaka. He showed some evidence of things that he has been saying. But where George Weah and Pat Joe Bwaka are now, they are like drowning people. I mean, somebody got to grab this thing here. So no matter what happened in the past, you say, no, let me tell you, the same thing, the parable that Joe Bwaka gave that he can dance with the devil, is the same thing with George Weah. I think George Weah is even dancing with Satan himself, not the devil, but Satan himself. Because, the thing is, who can drive me across this river? It's like you're drowning. And even if while you're drowning, you see the back of the alligator, you sit down on the back, let it carry you across the water. So that's what they're doing now. So not that George Weah so much forgiving that you forgive.
No. Listen, don't worry. Those years back, probably look at a few minutes use of it. When this guy was COP chairperson, when you have said something, you get a lot of votes. But now he's just a bishop noisemaker compared to, I think he want to just be considerate and accept, you just receive him as the president. Or else, whether Costa goes in or not, it doesn't make any difference because he doesn't command that crowd anymore. Before
he does not. He does. I will tell you something.
Okay.
Costa, before he did that podcast, he hit the microphone. The past few podcasts I've been making, I watch it, I listen to him very well. When he hits the microphone, in the next 10 minutes, he's getting close to 1,000 people.
No, but that's not the people that go out there to receive him. It's different from when you go on the show. Look, what happened here, Linford? We come on the show, Linford, you got 10%, 20% listen to you on the show. Sure, I'll be Liberia. Not 10% will welcome you. So people want to listen to the crap he's saying. Out of a joke, he said, sometimes on many reasons, people want to listen to him. Look at the comedian. Look at the fraudster. Look at the loser. People, for many reasons, listen. Not that they follow you because they like you.
So who do you blame?
No, not like you like you.
If you look at a guy, if you look at a comedian, you waste 2 hours of your time looking at that comedian.
There are so many reasons the person will follow you, not because they like you. There are few diehards, I agree.
Well, I think Costa said commands. Costa is not my boy, right? Costa is not my boy. And one of the person who have criticized Costa and he was very tough on me on his show. Every time I call, he would cut me off. You would tell the guy to cut me off because I disagree with him most of the time. But I know, let right be where it is. Costa still commands crowd. He can say influence people. He can say, and he's a strong fighter. And let me tell you, we're dealing with a group of people. The Liberians that we are dealing with now, there are a group of people who do not want to hear any sweet thing. They don't want to hear your sweet, best ass part of story. No, they want to hear the hardcore thing.
It is necessary anyway.
If you can have people giving Prophet Key money and he turn around causing the same people. He causing them right when they show and they're giving them money. So that's the kind of people we're dealing with. Yeah. Okay? So the people want to see Costa causing Joe Bwaka. Then they will say, we believe in Costa, we'll go for. You think why is fighting United Party people so much that Costa left? They say he's insignificant though, but that man is insignificant. Why you stay behind him? You're crying behind him, doing everything. You forget about him, but no.
Yeah, those days he was very, very powerful. He broke down the whole CPP because if you look at what he did, he manipulated, he engineered CPP to break up, and he did that very well using his dad. He admitted to that. And now people didn't see that. We keep saying it. That's why you're saying the kind of mentality we have as Liberians. We believe you take something wrong without thoroughly investigating the importance. What is the underlying fact of this? They came up with the issue of look what happened. Well, anyway, one interesting thing, people say, why are you not talking about how CP was whipped, like how Chelsea's been whipped nowadays? So we will discuss that in the next edition. You know why is it that this election looked like this? Because CPP, look, ANC together with Unity Party in 2017, they were almost like, I think Unity Party was, and the Liberty Party was third in the election, while ANC was fourth, and they won over 5% of the vote. This time they joined it together, won like not 2%. Why this happened? We'll look at that in the next edition.
Yeah.
So we'll tell you. We'll look into it because we're not going to let it go. Why is it's like that? Why it is, but we'll tell you. We're going to be honest with you and tell you what it is like, what happened, and what are we looking at from our personal perspective, and also we may add some opinions on this. So do give that take, and you also be the judge.
Okay, I think that's it. That gives us the time on the clock. 9 minutes until 10 o'clock my time. It's 9 minutes until 9 o'clock Liberia time. And so we will say that's how we want to leave you this evening. Join us on Friday. We'll be here again with a fresh edition of the program. And we can assure you that we're going to have a guest, but surely we may have a guest because I'm working very hard, and Jima is going to also be working hard, and we'll be finding somebody. So that's how I would like to leave you on this day. And any other thing, Jima?
No, I just want to wish everybody that have been with us throughout the years for doing the campaign time, those who be supporting us, and we're going to be here for you. We're here for you. Probably we may be off air for some time. It doesn't matter. We're going to be here for you. This is the European platform, your platform. Always support us. When you see us live, please share. Thank you.
That's good. Okay. So this I would like to leave you. Bye-bye.